Okay, so feet shoulder width apart, nice tight abs, 3 fingers, tighten the abs, and you're gonna start poking the belly all the way around. Poke, poke, poke. And thank you for joining me today. I hope you will get a nice little workout out of this. The idea is just to work on your core and some of your joints. And it's just a gentle workout. Keep going, keep tapping. Someone else is joining us. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to put your hands down to the side, and you're not lifting your butt off the ground. You're just going to, your hips will roll, but you're going to squeeze your rectum, your private area, your urethra. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. You're going to squeeze rectum, private area, urethra. Hold, 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 and relax. Rectum, private area, urethra. Hold, 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 and relax. Rectum, private area, urethra. Hold, 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 relax. We got 2 more to go. Rectum, private area, urethra. Hold, 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 relax. And last one, rectum, private area, urethra. Hold, 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 and relax. Okay, now we're going to get ready for bridges. If you've been doing bridges for quite a while, then you know it's time for for some weights on your side. If you have not been doing them and you're just doing it for other uh, health and physical reasons, then you're not going to put weights on your bridges here. So you get the handles, you put the handles on that pelvic bone here. Feet are shoulder width apart, drawing your heels under your knees, feet are apart, tucking shoulders, tight abs, tight pelvic floor that we just worked on. We're going to push through the heels, lift our butt up, really squeezing the butt cheeks, right? And feeling those hamstrings engage, pushing through the heel, and then control on the way down. Tight abs, tight pelvic floor, and then push through the heels, squeezing the butt. You just pause for a moment at the top and control on the way down. Tight abs, tight pelvic floor, push through the heels, squeeze the butt at the top, hold for a moment, and then control on the way down. You're just going to go back. You're just going up and down. What we're doing is, this is a hip hinge movement, one of our most fundamental movements of the human body, where our hip folds and it straightens. Most of us, we know the folding and straightening through the process of sitting on a chair and standing up, bending over and standing up. This one takes the back out of that process and trains you how to push through the heel and activate the glutes. Because most of us, when we get up from a chair, we use our hands to help us up. And we also lift up through the balls of our feet, thus hurting more of our knees. The balls of our feet activate the knees, the heels activate the glutes. The glutes are stronger and they have more bones density and muscle density behind them. So we know we're supposed to be using that. We're going to go ahead and come on down here, set those weights to the side, and we're going to hug the right knee to our chest, straighten the left leg, all toes point to the ceiling. So bridges are a nice complementary to anyone who has lower back problems but needs to revisit how to engage their hips correctly. And I love bridges because you can go just light and make it just a tendon, nice nervous system stretch, or you can get all the way up to 90 pounds across your waist, across your hip bone, and lift it and lower it. The max I did was 130, and then after that, it was pushing on my bladder too much. So I was like, nope, I don't need bladder problems for this, for an ego trip. So we can lift a lot with bridges. Nice tight abs. Set the leg down. Bring the left knee to your chest. Straighten the right leg, all toes to the ceiling. Relaxing the neck and shoulder, and just really feel that knee coming to the chest. You want to stretch that kneecap. You want to stretch that glute. And then the other leg, the hip flexor is stretching. The hamstring is stretching behind the knees, and the calves are stretching. And because we're separating our legs, our pelvic floor is stretching. So we're getting everything. Who knew? Such a nice little comfy stretch, which producing so much. You have 3, 2, 1. Tighten your abs and set the legs down, shoulder width apart. And we're going to move on to torso stabilizer. So you're going to put your right leg to the ceiling, left arm to the ceiling. Tuck your shoulders down, nice tight abdominals. The idea is you're keeping your heel over your hip and your wrist over your shoulder socket, and you're thinking of your torso as a brick, and you're going to bring the arm and leg away from you only about 30 to 45 degrees. You do what your torso can handle. And then you're going back over the joints again. You are not coming to the center of the body. You're coming to the edge of your torso and then back out again. And you're really tightening your abdominals, that transverse abdominis we worked on earlier. You're just really tightening it down, trying to be in full control, not letting your rib cage twist, not letting your abdominal twist, not letting your pelvic twist. Everything in your torso is just strong like a brick. To me, I think like a Barbie doll body, right? It'd be this hard plastic. Some of you would be a Ken doll Barbie body. And then bring your leg down and switching sides, bringing up the left leg, flex that foot, bringing up the right arm, tuck the shoulder blade, nice tight abdominals, and then going away from the torso and then back to the outside of the torso. And you're just going a small little distance away from each other. Relaxing that neck and shoulder, tightening the abs. The idea is if you had a big cup of burning hot coffee and you put it right below your belly button, would it be spilling right now, or would it be nice and still? You have just one more, nope, sorry, 5 more seconds. Sorry, my bad, got you all excited, thought you were done. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on down. Okay, go ahead, and we're gonna grab that strap that I mentioned earlier that you would need. Dun, 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 time for a stretch. You're going to put your right foot around it. You're going to lower the leg and then straighten the leg. Once the leg is straight, you're going to start lifting that leg all the way until you feel the knee wants to bend. It's barely, some people are going to barely lift it. Some people are going to go all the way up. I'm not concerned how high you go. I'm concerned with how straight your leg is at the point where you feel this beautiful stretch in the back of your thigh and the back of your calf and knee. You have these 2 ligaments that are behind your knee. They need to be able to straighten. And that's not related to standing, because we don't want straight legs when we're standing. We want soft knees when we're standing. But it's when we're walking, that's when having that straight leg is important, that it enables to open up so we can have this nice long gait on our legs. Because remember, walking a nice long gait tells us about our cognition, tells us about our overall health, and it tells us about our hip health. So we don't want to lose these things as we age. Nice tight abdominals. You're going to bring your left foot inside the strap. So left foot's in the strap, and then you're going to remove the right foot back to the floor. Don't straighten that leg out. Make sure the leg is still bent. Now you're going to straighten your left leg, lower it and straighten, and then start pulling up until you feel the back of the knee wanting to bend a little bit. And then that's your true flexibility of your hamstring. This is not where we're just trying to bring our foot up as high as we can and then our knee is bent and nothing is happening. We're just really trying to get that knee straight. That is the most important. So if you have to lower super low, then lower super low. That's why we have the strap, so that we're not dependent on just our leg being straight up. We can lower it and move it where it needs to go. And of course, as always, shoulders are relaxed, abs are engaged. We want that hip nice and steady. We have 4, 3, 2, 1, and we get to remove that strap off to the side here. Okay, so now we're going to work on some of those obliques. If you were here for the chair exercise part, when we sat on the chair and we turned side to side, you're going to recognize this, but coming from the bottom part of our hip. So we're going to grab a ball and we're going to put it between our knees. There are 2 levels to this. Level 1, your feet are together on the floor and you let your knees, you let gravity gently drop your knees just a little bit to the side, not far at all. I cannot stress to you, do not go far. That will strain your back. You're going to tighten your abdominals, use the opposite abdominal to pull the knee back to the center. So there'll be a pause. Then you're going to let gravity tip you off to the left side. And then your right abdominal stops it and pulls it back to center. Everything is happening at the abdominal space. This is a tiny movement. I cannot stress to you how tiny this movement is. Don't go thinking, oh, if I can go even further, I'll get my abs even stronger. Incorrect, because the abs disengage after 30 degrees and your back takes over. So we need to have our ab engaged the whole time, which means we're never going to go past the 30 degrees. Now, if you know this exercise and you've been doing it for a while and you're ready to go level 2, which is ball over the hips, knees are 90 degrees, you drop to the side, use your abs to the center, drop to the other side just a little bit, and abs to the center, have at it. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. So we're dropping to the side, opposite abdominal pulls to the center. Drop to the other side, tighten your abs, pull to the center. Drop to the side just a little bit, tighten the abs, pull to the center. I'm going to turn just in case, so you can better see the alignment. So I just can't have my feet together. I drop just a little bit, and then the opposite abdominal comes up. I drop just a little bit, tighten my abs, and it comes back up. And that's all I'm doing. I'm training my obliques, how to control what's happening in my lower hips and my lower legs. And this will help if ever you're in a hospital bed and you're like, oh, I can't wiggle around. You'll go, oh, yeah, she said something about this. But let's hope you never need the hospital bed. How about that one? You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take the ball away from yourself, but keep your feet together, and then you're going to open the knees apart. And then while you're rolling the bottoms of your feet together, tighten your abdominals, tighten your pelvic floor. Don't let your back arc by keeping them all disengaged. Keep them engaged. And it might mean your legs pop up a little bit more. That's okay. What we need is your spinal cord to stay neutral the whole time. That's the most important part. Now we just breathe, relaxing our shoulders, relaxing our neck. We're just stretching the inner thighs here. Again, our whole life, we need these to stay open. It's really important we don't let those thighs not open. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Tighten the abs, bring those knees together. Okay, we're going to move on to crunches now. So feet shoulder width apart. If you have osteoporosis and your doctor says no more crunches for you, you're going to keep your hand on your chest, your head on the floor, and you're going to push the belly button to the floor and relax. Push the belly button to the floor and relax. It's all you're going to do. If your doctor has not said you have osteoporosis and has not said no crunches for you, you're going to put your hands behind your head. You're going to act as if you have a grapefruit between your chin and your chest. You're going to tighten your abdominals, and using your abdominals, you're going to pull the rib cage forward. That might mean you don't lift your head very high. And then you're going to bring it back down. So tucking those shoulders, we're going to get started. Here we go. Timing you now. Crunch up and inhale down. So you inhale and exhale on the way up, and inhale on the way down. And then exhale on the way up and down. What you're trying to do is not use your neck to lift you up. You're trying to use your abdominals to lift you up. The illusion is that you're keeping your spinal cord so in neutral that your abs are strong enough to bend the rib cage forward, which of course then means your spine moves forward, which means your head moves forward. And so we're just doing the crunches, working on using the abdominals to pull the rib cage towards the hips. And that's where all that comes from. If you feel the strain in your neck, if you feel it in your chest, you're doing a neck and a chest strain exercise, We want a nice contraction of the abdominals. You have 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring that head down. And then we're going to move to everyone's favorite, their reverse crunches. You bring up both legs to the ceiling. Bring up your arms straight up to the ceiling. You have your hands facing your shins. And then you're going to bring your shins to your hands, but not your hands to your shins. So the arms stay perfectly still, and you're just rocking the shins, your legs back and forth, working on these lower abdominals. And if you get a little bit stronger, you're trying to lift the little butt off the ground and work the lower abdominals. And this is hard. You want your feet to stay together, but not crossed. So it's like this perfect little balance of how to hold those legs in as they're swinging around, how to straighten them, and how not to just have them go everywhere. But we're working on the lower abdominals here. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those legs down. Okay, you're going to bring your straight legs out, toes to the ceiling, and then you're going to bring your arms over your head. If you cannot bring your arms over your head, you're going to bring them out like a T, palms up to the ceiling, tucking shoulders away from the neck. Otherwise, everyone else is going to go overhead, palms facing each other, tucking shoulders away from the ears. Remember, we always want at any chance to get the shoulders and the ears away from each other, because you've got that big jugular vein here. We don't want to stop it up by having tension there. You also have all that lymph nodes here. We want all that lymphatic system while we're moving. We want all that to just be able to keep going around the body. If we're constantly hiking our shoulders to our ears, we're always in the mess of that tension there, and things can't flow correctly. So we want to give ourselves the best forward option that we can. So we're just laying straight. That's all we're doing right now. This is your free gravity chiropractor. You're almost done. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring your feet back up onto the floor. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn ourselves to the side here. We're going to be working on our hip exercises. So we're going to do clams, side leg lifts, and inner thigh leg lifts. Okay. So we're going to roll ourselves into a sleepy position where it's going to have our, if you were watching yourself from above, you would see that your feet line up with your spinal cord here. That's kind of how you would know that your knees aren't too high and they're not too low. That your arm would be that nice little what's the word, angle measure. Okay, so we're going to roll the hip forward, tighten this lower abs. You're relaxing the ankles. Think of your thigh bone rotating in your hip socket and then coming back down. You want to not move the hip. So if we had a level starting right here, that hip would stay perfectly still. The ankles are still relaxed, so we're not using our calves to help out our body. We want to visualize the skeleton. We want the thigh bone rotating in the hip socket. And you'll know you're doing it right because you're going to barely be able to lift this sucker up when done correctly. When you see everyone's knees higher than their hips, you know they rolled their back further back, and you know that they're not engaging this back muscle here. So we really want that butt muscle engaging. Why? Because it is the one that's helping, as you can see, it helps turn and navigate where your thigh goes. So we always think our knee knows where it's headed, but actually it's this muscle, and there's a couple others that help determine what direction your knee goes. Okay, you're going to bring that thigh down. Now, keeping the bottom leg perfectly still, don't move the bottom leg. Tighten your abs and straighten just the top leg till it's straight and it lands on the bottom foot. You're going to flex that top foot, roll the hip forward, tighten the abs, and you're going to lift the leg using your butt muscle and then bringing it back down. Tighten your abs, roll the hip forward, lift the leg, and then bring it back down. The idea, again, is we're using our butt muscle to lift the thigh. We're trying to train our thigh we're training our hip how to control our thigh. So we want our hip to control what's happening in the thigh. And this is how we're going to get safe knees in our body. And we want the butt to be burning, not the side of the hip and not the front of the hip. We want that butt. And we know we're doing it correct, again, if we're not going very high. So if you see someone lifting that side leg and it's higher than their body, then chances are they've rolled back a little bit. So we're just lifting that back leg and setting it down. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Should be burning. You're going to put that front leg, the top leg forward, and then straighten the bottom leg, and then flex that foot, tighten the abdominal, and then you're going to lift that bottom leg up and down. Lift the bottom leg up and down. So now we're working inner thighs. And because this leg, the top leg is in front of us, we're stretching out that hip we just worked. And it's important to be able to have strong inner thighs because they also determine what's happening inside the knee, right? It's all about alignment of that thigh. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to come on down, tighten your abs, and you guys get to turn around, and we're going to do the other side now. Turning around, rolling the hip forward in our sleepy position. Tighten the abs, relax the ankle, and we're going to do the clams again, lifting the knee up, rotating it in our thigh bone. I'm sorry, rotating our thigh in our hip socket. Yeah. The abs are tight, not letting the back roll back with it, and just really feeling it right in deep in the hip, deep in the butt. And you'll know you're doing it because that knee will not go high. You're like, that knee should go way higher. Why doesn't it go higher? And then your butt's like, no, I can't contract any further. And then you know, oh, I'm doing it right. This is what she's talking about. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, keep the bottom leg perfectly still. So bottom leg stays still. Tighten your abs. Straighten the top leg only. Flex the top foot. Roll the hip forward. Tighten the abdominal and lift the leg up and down. Up and down. And again, if you're using your butt, you're not going to go very high. It looks high here from the way I'm angled, but if you saw me level, you would see I'm barely going higher than my hip. And that's just because I do this all the time. But this is one when your butt's contracting it, it just doesn't go very high. It's a tiny little movement. And it's that walking movement again. So we want to be able to get our hip nice and strong by having all these muscles around our pelvic bone strong to direct what our thigh is doing. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top leg goes forward. Bring that top leg forward. Straighten the bottom leg. Flex that bottom foot. Tighten the ab and lift the inner thigh. So that thigh, the bottom leg is lifting up off the ground. So I see one person lifting the top leg. It's the bottom leg on the floor we're lifting. Keep your abs nice and tight. Flexing the foot. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring that foot down. And then we're going to go ahead, get onto our hands and knees into a child pose to stretch out those hips. And then we just have the bird dog left and a child pose. And then you guys are done. But first, sit your butt on your hips, marching your arms out there. And if you can't get your head to the floor without your butt sticking in the air, choose to sit the hips towards the heel because we just worked out those hips. So I want them to stretch out. So the priority is if you can't get your head to the floor, then don't, but get your hips to your heels. We're just stretching out the hips that we just worked. Our lower back and our knees are all involved in this. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tighten your abs. We're going to come onto your hands and knees now. If at any point this is your hands don't like this, you can drop down to your elbows. Just try to make sure that it's under your shoulders, that it's not ahead of your shoulders or behind your shoulders, that it's nice and lined up so gravity is pulling correctly onto your joints. You want your knees under your hips. You're going to tuck your shoulders away from your neck, nose points to the floor. You're going to tighten your belly button to the spine. You're going to shift your weight to the left leg, and then we're going to lift the right leg straight out, flex the foot, drop the hip. And now if all we want to do is just stay here, we can. But if you want to take it to the next level, you're going to bring your left arm straight out next to your ear, thumb to the ceiling. And here you're at the bird dog, and you're just making sure that your hip is facing forward to the floor, that it's not hiking up. The toes are pointing to the floor. If at any point you feel wobbly, you're going to bring the hand down and keep the leg up. It's more important that the leg stays up than the arm stays up. You have 3, 2, 1. Bring the arm and leg down to the right. Tighten your abs, tuck your shoulders, bring your left leg out, flex the left foot, drop the left hip, really tightening the abs. And now, only if you want, you bring out the right arm, level to the ear, thumb to the ceiling, nose to the floor, shoulder is tucked. If at any point you're wobbly, you bring your arm down. It's not important to have the arm up. It's important to have the leg up. What we're working is your back flank on your back. And so we're just trying to make that nice and strong to support your vertebrae. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring the arm and leg down. We're going to round our back and drop our head into a cat pose. Really just stretching out the vertebrae into an arc like a rainbow. And then we're going to drop our back and lift our head, cat pose. And this would be rounding our vertebrae into I'm never sure if it's concave or convex. It's either one of those, but this would be like a smiley face. And then back into the cat pose, rounding the back into a rainbow. Nice breathing. And then we're going to go right into the cat pose, dropping the back and lifting the head. And then we're going to go flat head, flat back, tuck the shoulder blades, engage the abs, locking down the shoulder blades so the rib cage doesn't move. And you're going to wiggle just the hips side to side, nice and slow. Think of a hula dancer, but slow motion. So they keep their shoulders perfectly still. They keep their coconuts nice and still, and only their grass skirts wiggle. That's what we're trying to do, but in slow motion. What this does is you've got vertebrae on the side, the multifidii, and it's just contracting and releasing those, making the vertebrae just a wee bit more strong. And then we're going to go ahead and drop our butt towards our heels. And then slowly walk our arms forward until we feel the point that we can no longer go forward. The goal is to drop your forehead to the ground, your arms straight out. But if you can't reach that, that's okay. Having the hips is the more important part, though. And so now we're coming to the conclusion of our workout. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. On Wednesday, the same platform, but a little bit of different exercises are on Wednesday at the same time. And then there's tomorrow, the 10 o'clock and the 11 o'clock. Okay, come on up. And we are done. Nice job, nice job.